Good afternoon, this is Lindsay, and it's October 3rd, 2025. It's Friday. And I want to give an example of how these people are still trying to, let me know that I'm being monitored of the gang stalking. Because the main thing is when they hack into your computer, they hack into your phone, which is like cyber stalking, basically. And so, obviously, they know everything that you do, and they know every little change that I make. Everything I do on my computer, everything I do on my phone. So they always use that against you to try to fuck with your personality because they think, what they assume is that most people have different kinds of interests, or I happen to be somebody who has a variety of interests and curiosity. So they punish people if you are not somebody who's completely always predictable, and you have changes and things that you like, then they fuck with you, and then they send the accordingly, based on what you did, you changed a picture on your Facebook, for example, or on your computer background screen, they fuck with you accordingly. And yesterday, and it's just so stupid, it's like, it's all behavior modification programming. This whole gang stalking surveillance is all about so they can predict your behavior because they're afraid of people who are influencing others. And that's the main thing. They don't give a shit really about your past because everybody has a past. I certainly do. And but what they're trying to do, it's obvious, is they send these people out who work for the government, spying on me, whatever, working for the fucking government, whatever agency or health, mental health, these different departments, right? And so they're always trying to keep tabs on me, monitoring me, and they do things on their phone when I'm at the gym. Because this morning I was like, I like to go to the gym sometimes. Obviously, I don't like to always stay cooped up in this fucking house where it's depressing. The neighborhood I don't want to be in anymore, and I've already made that very obvious that. And I also like driving sometimes. I enjoy driving fast or driving on the freeway from time to time. It's something I've always liked to do. I've been doing that for so many years, and it's something, if you're good at fucking driving, then you know what? But no, that's not to say that I'm somebody who's a transporter or courier or carrier of anything. But I enjoy driving. I've always liked driving, but I really like driving stick shift cars, which I used to drive. So anything that you like to do, and in my past life, I think I was probably a race car driver, or that was something that I really wanted to do, is I just enjoy driving, but I try to go the speed limit, but I like driving on the freeway when there's not a lot of traffic and when people actually are driving properly, when people aren't fucking doing stupid things, but anyway, are trying to cause accidents. So anyway, so I went to the gym this morning at the 151 Potranco, whatever that Gold's Gym, Legacy Trails, and that's the one that I like. I mean, of all the ones that I go to, that's the one that I like the most, and that's the one that I feel, even that, like I said, I don't know anybody there, I don't know the staff really very well, but that's the only one that I really feel that I like. That I feel, I'm not saying that I expect to be welcomed everywhere I go, and I don't want that, nor do I care about that. It's just a place, for example, if you've been going to a gym for a long time, there's certain locations that you like and you don't like, obviously through trial and error from your own, experience. So that one, for whatever reason, even though it's a crowd a lot of them are a lot younger, these kids, they seem like they're probably younger, but it's big. The reason I like it is because it's very diverse. I don't like to go to really small places where everybody knows each other and everybody's gossiping. And it's that kind of weird feeling like the one here closer to where I live, where everybody's always fucking gossiping and you feel very uncomfortable the way people. I just don't like going there after what happened, basically. And I don't really like going to the one at US 78, whatever, FM 78 either. It just I have a bad feeling about that place as well. I just don't feel comfortable there. And I don't really feel comfortable in any of them, but at least at this place, I feel more comfortable, and I don't feel like I have to act out. I don't feel like I'm angry, and I don't feel like there's anybody stalking me or harassing me in a way that, they might be monitoring me, but I don't feel threatened by anybody, and I don't have any animosity towards the people there, because like I said, I don't even know anybody, but the few people who I have spoken with have been rather, decent, but I don't trust anybody anyway. But like I said, it's just the one place that I like to go. So sometimes for me, it's worth it to drive that way just to get out of the house and to just have a change of scenery or atmosphere. So this morning I went there, but on the way I stopped to get some gasoline on a gas station that I often go to. I guess it's like a one of these Circle K's or Valero places. I don't know. I go there a lot, but to get some gas. And okay, I went in there to use it. I was like, I need to go pee. I'm going to go in there and go to the bathroom. And I also bought something that was on sale, something that I sometimes buy from time to time. Some cookies, whatever, that are marked down to $1. Sometimes I like to buy those, and so they happen to have them on sale, so I bought one. And as soon as when I walked in, I'm very cognizant to my surroundings, and I listen to everything going on, and I watch. And it's kind of funny because I feel like they do things on purpose. Like, a lot of this stuff is not just random. And when I walked in the door, they were playing a song by Foster the People, which is a band. I'm sure a lot of people have heard of that band. It's called Foster the People. But the song they were playing was from their album that goes way back to like at least, that song's probably from at least 2009 or 8 or 7. I don't know exactly, but it's an older song from one of their earlier albums, because it's called Foster the People, and I think the album is called, I don't know what album it is, but I think it's called, the album's called Pumped Up Kicks or something, I think, yeah. But the song they're playing is, I'm going to tell you what song it is so I don't sound like a complete... I used to have that album. I like that band. I like that that I've always liked them. That music, it's real catchy, kind of pop music, but popular. But it's a good band. I really like a lot of their music. But the song that they were playing was something that I was like, oh my God, It's like, okay, first of all, I can't help but wonder, were they doing that? It didn't really see... All the Other Kids, I think. Yeah, the song is called All the Other Kids. Foster the People, All the Other Kids. And there's something in the lyrics, outrun something, and then outrun something, I think some mention of a gun or something like that. So I was like, oh, okay, really? And I'm thinking, well, yeah, I think I have a few of their songs on my MP3 player, not that one. Nonetheless, it just didn't seem like it. That felt like it was very coordinated. It did not seem like it was just random. I felt like that was very synchronized, because I kind of had a feeling they knew that I was going to go there, and that sometimes these things, when you're being targeted, are very coordinated, and you can tell when there's, when it's kind of orchestrated. And there's a woman who works there, and I feel. I mean, call me paranoid, because I don't really. I'm used to various labels, but I feel like a lot of the times, sometimes these people that work at places where I frequent, like they know that I go there a lot, like to get gasoline or whatever, they almost seem like they are, they are informants. They do seem like they're definitely informants of some kind, because they come and go. I've noticed, because I go to the same places, I frequent the same places, and I notice that a lot of the times the employees just come and go, like all the time. And I know that that's common now, because people lose their job or quit their job, but I'm always paying close attention to these things, especially to places where I go on a regular basis. And I pay attention to a lot of, just every little detail I just am very detail oriented. So they're playing that song. The woman working there, I've seen, she kind of, she reminds me a little bit of her attitude or her demeanor. And she's a Caucasian woman, I guess. She seems Caucasian. She has like darker brownish gray colored hair. She's kind of shorter woman. But she might be in her 50s, or maybe, I'd suspect, I'm not sure how old she is. I'd say she's in her mid-50s, just to take a guess. But she seems like for whatever reason, every time I see this woman, I always feel like this woman is some kind of an undercover cop or some kind of FBI or something. There's something about her that I can just pick up on, her energy. That she's working, she definitely is some kind of an agent, maybe with the FBI or CIA. I feel that, and I don't know why, but with her, I get that feeling that she's definitely somebody who's working for the police or the government or something. And not just as an informant, but somebody who actually either had that kind of job in the past or is still doing that. That's what I feel. That's the energy that I pick up from that woman because of the way she behaves, the way she looks at me, and her mannerisms, which is the same thing as the way she behaves. Something about her, and maybe she's a little bit psychic too. I pick up on something that she's psychic or intuitive. So I don't know. But so they're playing that False for the People song, all the other kids from the album Pumped Up, I think it's called Pumped Up Kids or Pumped Up Kicks, something like that. And I was like, oh God, I was thinking, and that right there, I felt like it was meant to trigger me. Number one, I have a relative named David Foster Baldwin, okay, who I've talked about in some of my videos, who I don't really know that well, and who's a man who I've talked about. My mother, I had some kind of a something with this man at some point, and I talked about David. His name is David Foster Baldwin. I've talked about him a few times. This cousin in the Baldwin family. And he's the only relative, and it just got me to thinking. Then I went off on a tangent thinking about, the way my mind works is I'll hear a song by a certain band, and the name of the band or something triggers me into thinking about a certain person. That's just how my mind works. And then I'll start thinking about that and obsessing about it sometimes, and then or rethinking about something, I do want that man. Whatever. So I started thinking about that a little bit, and I'm thinking maybe I should call him again, or say hello, or send a card, a Christmas, Halloween card. I don't know. I don't know, but I don't know him that well now. I knew him when I was younger, but not even that well. And I still wonder what exactly is Kenny's relation with that. What happened with him? Because I know there's something that they both are keeping a secret. I know that because when I had a conversation with him whenever Alan died, and I called him and let him know, I was recording a lot of it. I recorded a lot of it on my MP3 player or on my computer. And then there was half of it that got cut off, and he was talking about how something happened about he and my mother in a car somewhere. So I think he had a slip of the tongue, and I don't think he meant to say that, but I did. But unfortunately, that segment of it did not get recorded on my computer. I didn't record that part, but he kind of basically was confessing to something, like an extramarital affair. Well, I don't think he was married at the time, but he had confessed to something where I know my mother was. So he was basically confessing to having had a little rendezvous with my mother. Is that before I was born or after I was born? Is David Foster my father? Nah, I doubt it. No, but there's something, you see, there's something about that man, David Foster, that always comes up. This cousin on my dad's side. But I have to wonder these things because I'm still trying to figure out exactly. I mean, I'm still convinced that Alan is my father, Alan Baldwin. pretty sure. I'm almost 100% sure that he's my father, biological father. But I could be wrong. There's a small chance that I'm wrong about that. But I don't think so. What else? So I got to the gym, whatever. And once again, a lot of times when I'm there, I let my MP3 player do its random thing. Like, I don't always have time to fidget with it. And I just let it. I put it on. It's always on random, so I just let the whatever play. And so and I wasn't really expecting this to come on today when I was on the treadmill, but they started playing. It started playing one of the things I have about the Curse of Canaan, chapter something. What? Not secular humanism, but which one? So one of these chapters of the Curse of Canaan that talks about, the people of Shem and all this crap. And I was like, oh my God, and it was talk about the court system, about the Constitution and the court system. And I don't know exactly what chapter that is. I'd have to look on my MP3 player again. But it started playing because I have that on my MP3 player, and I recorded a few of those Curse of Canaan chapters. And I think that as far as that goes, the most important ones are the chapter about the first one. And then the one about the American Revolution. So, all of that is very interesting. And a lot of people call that a conspiracy theory. You can think what you want to think about it. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but I find it very informative. I'm not saying that I agree with everything, and even if I did, that's still my prerogative. But I find it extremely fascinating and informative to learn about these things that are very historical, and a lot of it does resonate with me, and a lot of it I feel is probably accurate. And a lot of people hate that man. They hate Eustace Mullins. They call him a conspiracy theorist, racist, and all that. But he was a very intelligent man who I think spoke the truth. That's just how I feel. That's how I feel. And I feel that a lot of what he talks about is very accurate, or very accurate in today's society. All this social communist stuff, it's very accurate. But people are going to get easily offended by what they don't agree with. Okay, they get easily offended. I don't care about okay, so anytime I talk about like gays or homosexuals or whatever, I'm a bigoted anti-Semite, or if I talk about the Jews, if I talk about homosexuals, and I'm a homophobic, which is not true. I'm not anti-Semitic, and I'm not homophobic. But I do have my own observations from personal experience about these things. But I'm not, But once again, I don't care what people think. I really believe in myself enough to know that what I think is my own opinion. And sometimes I get really fucking angry, and I go off on a tangent because of the pressure and stress of being stalked and surveilled daily. Will get you so wound up that you say things on the spur of the moment when you're really angry because of all the things that they do to intentionally mess with you and trigger you. And yesterday, like last night, I started talking, and I was just going off about things about how I hate babies and how I hate people, and sometimes I feel like I want. But you know what? That's just me in the moment because I'm angry. And I do know that they do target me with certain things on a daily basis according to what I'm angry about. And so that's called triggering a person to get you to react. I would never go kill a fucking child. So I was saying stuff like I see them sometimes and they irritate me so fucking much when these women with these fucking baby carriages follow me around the stores on purpose and they're fucking screaming fucking kid in my face. Well, yeah, it makes me mad because they're doing it on purpose. They do that to fucking target me. And so I started saying every time I see one of those, I want to fucking kill it. But that's just in my mind. I would never actually do that. But that's what they do to get you fucking angry, is by doing all that shit in public. And once I'm starting cussing again, sorry. But they did that to me a couple days ago. Yesterday, I guess it was. At the Dollar Tree, I was being severely fucking harassed and followed around by some woman with her fucking screaming baby in her fucking baby carriage. And I was like, quit following me around the fucking dog. I didn't say anything. I didn't even look at, I didn't even have any expression when I looked at her, but she was intentionally trying to cause me to react with her using her fucking baby in the goddamn baby carriage. And this is one thing that they do to targeted people, is they will do things that they know that irritate the fucking crap out of you to get you to act out so that they can have an excuse to call the police or to do something. And this is ill behavior. The people that do that, because obviously since they know, monitor my whatever, it just shows that these people are very ignorant. Or it shows that they have, I mean, that's the way I see it. Because I might, I'm not the type of person who's going to go around fucking community gang stalking anybody just because I don't like them. I don't give a fuck what they do. If I don't like them, I just leave them alone. I'm not going to go out of my way to gang stalk people, which is fucking stupid. But they certainly go out of their way to gang stalk me, because that's and that right there is an invasion of my privacy. I have a YouTube channel, but I don't allow comments, and I don't have hardly any viewers. As a matter of fact, almost none. And I don't even have hardly any subscribers. But it's a way for me to vent about what these people do to me on a daily basis. Because if I didn't have my forum to discuss this, I would probably, I don't know what I would do. I'm not going to go pay a fucking therapist to talk about narcissistic abuse and gang stalking. Really? To get myself even further down the fucking discredited rabbit hole of abuse is all that's going to do, is get me further down to the gang just digging a grave for myself. So if I don't talk, this is my therapy. Talking about it, inventing, even if I'm talking to the wall, even if I'm talking to myself on a YouTube channel, which nobody sees or very few people see, it helps me. It helps me, and that's therapeutic. I don't give a shit what people, if they get offended, then don't fucking watch it. Then don't watch it. It's freedom of speech, freedom of expression. I see a lot of fucking YouTube videos that I can't stand, but I just don't watch it then. Or just ignore it. It's that simple. You know, if you don't like something, then turn it off or don't watch it. There, that's all I have to say about people who do their smear campaigns and all this stuff against me because of your... Do it! Because I've gotten to the point where I'm so unaffected by most of it, I just ignore it. It doesn't really affect me the way it used to. I just talk about it on my YouTube channel. And that is my outlet for helping me. Which they don't like that either. But it is what it is. And that's what I'll continue to do, because otherwise they expect you to remain silent, be forever in a fucking victim mode. I'm not a victim. I'm a survivor, and I'm not going to allow these people to drive me into that kind of fucking victim mentality for all my life. That's not who I am. That's not who I am. But if something happens to me where I have the right to talk about these atrocities, illegal atrocities that they do, then I'm going to speak about it so that people are informed about what really goes on in a targeted individual's life on a daily basis.